Hello, my name is Aaron Elliott. I'm the Director of Operations at MyMajors. Today, I wanted to show you a few examples of how clients at different colleges and universities are leveraging their pathways and private label assessments into their current website, marketing materials, social media, email campaigns, any outreach with prospective and current students. So the main question we want to ask ourselves is how do we build students' confidence in their academic program on campus, but also help them explore what else is out there that they might not have yet heard of? And also, how do we increase their commitment to our college or universities through these different placements on our website and marketing? The main thing is don't overthink it. Sometimes it can be as simple as finding out where students are going on your current website and adding a strong call to action in places that might not have a call to action right now. For example, your A to Z list of all of your majors and academic programs, if there's not a clear call to action, such as unsure what major is right for you or overwhelmed by the options, take this assessment. So think about all the different places on your website that you could integrate this into your communication plan, because students are exploring your majors or changing their major, throughout this process, whether they're a prospective student on the admissions side, all the way to when they're getting ready to leave the university and maybe they're not in the right major, they're thinking about different career industries to go and work in. So think about different ways and tactical ways that maybe you're currently doing or you're thinking about implementing in the future, whether that's web placement, email marketing, texting, chat bots, direct mail, sending out to prospective students or parents, view books, events like major fairs and Meet My Major, press releases, and even videos and social media platforms. So we'll show some examples of how some current partners are leveraging the program on their website. Oklahoma State has a call to action for a list of all their majors right from their homepage, like many of you might have. And you might be tempted just to have that A to Z list of majors where students can kind of explore, or you might even have a filtering. But what they've done is create this very simple call to action, still exploring, building into that. It's okay if you're not committed yet or you haven't fully decided on a major, we're here to help you. You're not alone. Creating that call to action can generate inquiries and convert a stealth visitor into a tangible inquiry, or identify current students who might need a little bit additional help. Colorado State University does this also in different ways on their website, including this A to Z list of majors with this gray box that just says don't know where to start. And they've also implemented over here on the right under Find My Major quiz. You might have a degree program mapper or a filtering or a search on your own website. Georgia State leverages that tool along with MyMajors, that if a student can filter down to bachelor degrees in the business interest area at the Atlanta campus, and they're interested in accounting, they've integrated some ways to keep that student engaged, like not sure if this major is right for you, take a quick quiz, and they're converting those students that are visiting their website from that placement. Kansas City, Kansas Community College. So even at two-year institutions, having maybe a page about steps to enroll, like your 4 steps to enroll. Another place to do that is just having a call to action as basically saying whether you're a current student or deciding whether to come be a student, take this assessment as a first step of figuring out what programs of study might be a great fit for you and helping them onboard students in the right way. You could even place it on your homepage clearly if it makes sense, depending on your overall branding and your messaging. But many, like we mentioned, have that, we have over 50 majors. But if you're still undecided or not sure what you want to study in college, we're here to help you. Many are moving to career communities or meta majors. This is another great place because so many might be thinking of, a specific degree like finance, but they're not quite sure which meta major career community, or they just have no idea because they're overwhelmed by the options. Miami, Ohio regional campuses have this not sure which career community is a good fit for you. Students can take their MyMajors assessment, find a program of study, and then that maps them back up to say, okay, you're thinking about nursing or healthcare administration, that's within the health and science career community. So again, putting those pieces together with what you're already strategically doing on campus. Many are putting together majors fairs, so like different events on campus. So University of Central Arkansas has embedded it in their advising pages and how to declare a major, or even sliding kind of more visual things like this, just to help catch the student where they're at when they're visiting your website to get them to engage and request more information. You can also obviously embed it into social media campaigns like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and even LinkedIn, maybe for some of your non-traditional adults that are coming back, whether you're at a 2-year institution or a 4-year institution, engaging those prospective and even current students. Bluegrass does a great job of that as well, integrating their components on Twitter and also LinkedIn for maybe some of those non-traditional adults who are looking to come back and complete their degree. So those are some just very basic examples. We have a wide range of other examples of different web placement and that we can share with you at any time. You can also clearly leverage this in email campaigns, whether it's you're buying 100,000, 300,000 names and you're trying to engage them to convert them in your admissions funnel, or a check-in with your current students to say, you've completed your first year, congrats. We want to make sure you're happy with your major. If you're thinking about changing or not sure if you're going to come back next year, take a step back and take this assessment. Finding a major can be tough, and we're here to help you. Colorado State University leverages this email and others in their marketing communications with their prospective names purchases to convert those other leads that they have in their funnel into inquiries and applications, and obviously then enrollments. You can also leverage it in direct mail. So University of Louisiana Monroe created this simple postcard that they're sending out to their names and inquiries to just basically keep in touch with them, have another engagement point, another touch point with the QR code that just says, take this assessment to find your top tip majors on campus. If you're sending text messages, or if you have a chat bot or a live chat, that's a great way to do that one-on-one communication with students. Georgia State uses this in a summer melt initiative to keep the students engaged over the summer to sign up and show up for orientation, especially if they're undecided. But we know that over 50% of students are not fully confident in their current major, even if they have applied and been accepted. So just those check-ins can identify students who might need additional help, and for you all to obviously have one more touch point before they enroll. The University of Kansas created a simple video, a little 2-minute video. Others have done videos for onboarding students of, hey, watch this quick video about how we're supporting you. And even for parents to show them your support, or guardians or influencers into the student's decision for their college search, about how you're going to help them succeed, how the tools that you have to help them pick the right major, to start taking the right classes, to stay on track to graduate. You can also integrate this obviously clearly in your view books, whether it's digital or a print format. If you have, within your 20 pages in your view book, a section about your majors and you have your A to Z list, having that call to action in that view book as well can help take that print, convert over into a digital lead through your assessment, and that students can then find their personalized list from 1 to 10. You can also embed this into checklists, whether it's a timeline for onboarding students like Central Arizona College, or placing little flyers in high schools or community colleges nearby with a QR code to take your assessment. A lot are doing this in different ways to convert students. We provide 1,000 business cards, but those are a great way to put into a mailer, or when students are visiting campus in your admissions office or in your advising office. We actually have some that are pretty clever that they will put together a counselor's packet for their feeder high schools or community colleges, and they'll leave a stack of cards for them there, so that if if the high school counselor's meeting one-on-one with a student or a parent, and they're thinking about going to UT Austin, they can hand that student that card and they can take the assessment to find a list of their majors. And of course, the admissions team will then be notified of that student converting into a registration. Keeping parents and influencers is also so important, especially if they're helping finance the student's education. So the University of Arizona A Center and also University of Oklahoma have specific messaging and content for parents and families about how to help your student make major decisions, about best practices, but then also links and calls to action for students to take their assessment as that kind of first starting point to help nurture that student into a student who's completed their degree versus some college and no degree. Of course, you can create very simple press releases, which are a great way to get news, to pick up any type of events or how you're supporting students in different ways. The University of Louisiana Monroe and the Air Force Academy put together just a very simple story about their support, some quotes from students or faculty or their president about their commitment to not only students being successful, but finding a major so they're completing their degree in a timely manner and hitting that degree completion initiatives that they have going on campus. We do provide Google Analytics tracking as well. So there's some ways that you can tag those individual links with UTM tags. And then that monthly Google Analytics report we provide to you can tell you, how many came from the QR code, how many came from a referral link from your website, and so on. So how does this work for you all in the admissions or in the advising office, whatever it might be for the success of your institution? Number one is obviously generating response, creating engagement, whether that's the inquiry generation of students from your names purchase, sending that email out and converting them into another engagement standpoint to apply, or those visitors who are on your website who are stealth, as in you don't know who they are, they're just going through page by page and they haven't revealed themselves. This is a way to engage those students. The students get a value from you and you get a value because you can actually convert them into a tangible individual. We can also we have initiatives on application to enrollment and yield improvement of students who take MyMajors that have applied, doing this as a checkpoint to see kind of where they're at, maybe help them see what other majors are available to them on campus they've never heard of before. It's another great way to increase their commitment to your school and increase, therefore, their yield. Again, we have some case studies on that. Two others, obviously, that summer melt initiative of even after they have paid their deposit, keeping them in touch and keeping them engaged through that pre-enrollment orientation process to make sure they're happy, they have an informed choice of their major. So then when they're meeting with an advisor to sign up for classes, they've checked all those boxes. And then obviously that helps then for future when the student starts taking classes. Of course, we can't control everything, and maybe they start taking classes and they don't want to be a doctor anymore because they hated the biology class they took or chemistry class. But they can go back to their MyMajors report and look at what other majors were offered or suggested to them in their assessment and be able to change their major and work with their advisor versus just saying, I don't think college is right for me and I'm dropping out altogether. Maybe there might be a healthcare administration program for that student where they can go more on the business side versus just thinking that they're going to be a doctor and make a lot of money. So decreasing those major changes can then impact even on the admissions enrollment side, because if you're keeping more of your students, you don't have to increase your admissions enrollment goals as much because your overall tuition revenue that you're creating for the university is steady and growing. So what are the 6 things that we talk to our clients about implementing these links and kind of the examples that we've shown? First, we always say, think like a student. Where would a student go on your website? Where are students going right now? Look at your Google Analytics, your website tracking. Where are students visiting? Are they going to that academics A to Z page? Are they exiting the page from there? Are they going to other pages? Are you creating calls to action on drop-off pages that you could introduce the MyMajors kind of link there to say, not sure what you want to do with the rest of your life, right? Or undecided about a major, we're here to help. And keeping that student engaged to convert them. Once you start to think through these ideas, whether just within your department or with your marketing web team, whatever groups on campus, start to create your list of pages that you think would be a really good idea. We also can help from the MyMajors standpoint. We've seen hundreds of thousands of websites of different colleges and universities of what they're doing well and opportunities that are out there. So we can help you create those awareness points and that call to action. And sometimes institutions might overthink that and say, we got to redo our branding and create all these HTML or visuals or anything like that. And sometimes it's as simple, like we saw at Benedictine College, where it's just a line of text that says, undecided about your major, click here, right? And that simple plain text can convert tens to hundreds of inquiries per week, per month for you that you weren't getting before. Obviously, then we want to review those results are from the Google Analytics reports that we can provide and from your team. Are students responding? Are you generating more responses and registrations from your program? And then therefore, where else can we test out and maybe find additional pieces like view books or communication plans or high school college fairs where we're talking about our school for 30 minutes. And in that presentation to that college fair, we can talk about if you're undecided about a student, or undecided about a major, you're not alone. We're here to help you. So again, testing and looking at this can make a successful program, but students have to know that your program exists, right? That awareness is the first step. If they don't know that it's out there, it's going to be hard for them to obviously get to the assessment itself. So some action plans is one, look at your analytics tracking from your team, look to see what pages are out there, what pages in your sitemap, as in all the pages on your website. Also then compare those maybe to other colleges and universities in your area or that you compare yourselves to, and do a kind of a full SWOT analysis, not only of your major pages themselves, like your accounting page, what does it look like, what information are you presenting, but generally your calls to action. Are we creating enough action points that students are going to engage with us to create an inquiry instead of just stealth visitors? Then where are those opportunities, like I mentioned, to then present to your group to say, hey, here are some things that we think could make a big impact, not only from a lead generation, inquiry generation, and admissions kind of conversion, but then to help our current students even too, to keep them successful on campus. So the main thing, right, is some of these things might be a longer term project, but what are just two things that you can really make a big impact by just simply adding this into your communication plan, whether it's an email, whether it's a social media post or two, or it's in that A to Z list of majors where most will put it, that will engage that student, and you'll start just seeing students organically come in that are taking your assessment. We do have a webinar and a guide on best practices when designing and creating your major pages. We've seen so many, and it's kind of a unique value from partnering with MyMajors, where we can really talk and kind of challenge our partners on, why would a student major in civil engineering at your university versus another university? How are you presenting that program to prospective students and current students? Are you providing the right information to help them know? So we have some information there about Gen Z and how to design your website. Of course, we know that you can't do everything, but what are just simple things that you could do, and just to keep in mind when you're placing this link and creating your overall messaging to prospective students about your programs of study. So thank you for sitting in and listening to this today. If you want a more comprehensive presentation or you want us to actually do a quick audit of your website to find some specific pages, just let us know. Email us at clients@mymajors.com. We can go through your website and send you some places that we think make a lot of sense based on what we see from others. You can also schedule a call with the link on the screen, go.mymajors.com/schedule client call, where we can actually have more of a one-on-one conversation. And if any questions like, can you show me some examples who are using this in the steps to enrollment or after a student applies, we can absolutely pull those examples up to give you a better idea of how others are utilizing this and how they're getting better response and ROI from their program. Again, thank you for listening. We'll have other resources that we put out, but let us know if you have any questions in the meantime. Email us at clients@mymajors.com. Thank you.